Okay, so today we are going to learn about the deadlock prevention. Okay, in the last session or in the last video, we learned about the necessary and sufficient condition for the deadlock to occur. We learned those four conditions was mutual exclusion, hold and wait, no preemption, and circular wait. Okay, so those were the four condition. It was the necessary and sufficient condition for the deadlock to occur. Okay, so those four condition was responsible for the deadlock. Okay, so in this lecture, in this session, or in this video, we are going to break at least one of the condition in order to prevent the deadlock. Okay, if we break any one of the condition, if any one of the situation or all four situation, okay, so we can say that we have prevented the deadlock. Okay, so remember those four condition. Remember four condition. Those four conditions are: first was mutual exclusion, mutual exclusion. The second was hold and wait, hold and wait. The third was no preemption, no preemption, and the fourth was circular wave. Okay, so these are the four conditions which are responsible for deadlock. Okay, they are responsible for deadlock. Okay, now what we have to do in we are going to break at least one condition, this either the mutual exclusion or hold and wait or no preemption or circular wait. Okay, so we'll try to see how we can make any one of the condition false. Okay, so in this video we will try to false all the condition. Okay, so any one of this can be break. Okay, so we are going to break at least one condition. So at least one condition or all should be false, should be false to prevent the deadlock, to prevent the deadlock. Okay, so starting with the first one. Okay, how we can do it? Starting with the first one, that is mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion. How we can make this condition false? According to the mutual exclusion, we know that according to the mutual exclusion, which is the basic requirement, which is the basic requirement of the which is the basic requirement of the reliable stable operating system. So we can just write the point, it is the basic requirement of a stable operating system. Okay, and according to the mutual exclusion, this is the condition, we need to make sure that only one process will be in the critical section. According to the mutual exclusion, only one process should be there in the critical section. Okay, and we know about the critical section, that in critical section only the critical resources are placed. Okay, so we have to make sure that only one person, only one process will be in the critical section. Okay, and we need to make sure that the resources are shared. Make sure that resources are shared. Okay, how the resources are shared? We can draw this diagram like this one. This is the resource R1. Okay, we have a process P1, process P2, and process P3. So all are sharing this resource. Okay, so we need to make sure that resources are shared. According to this, we can achieve this mutual exclusion and the deadlock can be prevented. Okay, coming to the next condition. The next condition is hold and wait. According to the hold and wait condition, we'll write over here hold and wait. Okay, this is the second condition for deadlock to occur, and now we are going to prevent this condition. Okay, to break this condition, we will make it compulsory that if any process asking for any resource, then that process has to release first all the resources which is currently holding. Okay, we can make one condition, hold and wait. So first try to understand what is hold and wait. Okay, each and every process try to hold one resource and acquire the next one. Okay, so process one is holding one and want to acquire another resource, okay, which is being held by another process. Okay, so in the same way it forms a loop. Okay, so hold and wait, one process hold and wait for another, second process hold one and wait for other. So in the same way the things goes on. Okay, so we have to break this condition. And how we can break it? The first way we can break this is to break this condition. What we can do, we can make it compulsory. We can make it compulsory that if any process asking for resource, asking for any resource, then that process has to, then that process has to release all resources which it currently holds. Okay, so if any process was asking who has a requirement of the process, if any process who has a requirement of any other resource, then first it has to release all the currently holding resource, then only it can get the new one. Okay, तो जितना पहले है वो सब रिलीज करना पड़ेगा, उसके बाद में it can acquire the new resources. So we can prevent the deadlock in the first way. The second way we can do, we can try to give all the resources at the beginning and let it complete. Okay, so second way what we can do, try to give all resources, try to give all the resources at the beginning only, at beginning, and let it complete the execution. So this is the second way we can prevent the deadlock in hold and wait condition. Okay, so we can prevent hold and wait condition using these two way. The first one, if any process is asking for any resource, then first we will say that process that you have to release all the currently holding resources and then gain the new one. The second condition, the second way we can prevent the deadlock, that is we'll try to give all the resources at the beginning and let it complete the execution. Okay, so in this way we can get it. Okay, now we'll come to the third one, that is no preemption. The third condition is no preemption. Okay, we'll see that what does it say. That's the third condition is no preemption. Okay, according to the no preemption, according to no preemption, no process will be preempted which they are in running condition. Okay, if they are in running condition or they are in running state, then no process will be preempted. Okay, किसी भी process के पास से resources नहीं लेंगे. Okay, so this was the condition. Okay, and if we break this condition, so what we can do, अगर हमको ऐसा लग रहा है कि the deadlock may occur, then what we can do, we can preempt the resources from the process. Okay, if the process one, for example, if the process one is holding any resource R1 and we have a doubt that cause of this resource R1 which is being held by the P1, it may cause the deadlock, then we can preempt the resource R1 from the process 1. Okay, so what we have to do, to make this condition false, what we have to do, we have to allow the preemption. Okay, if we allow the preemption, then only we can preempt the resources from the currently running process. Okay, if we can allow the if we will allow the preemption, then we can release, or we can forcibly we can take, or we can remove the resource from a currently running process. Okay, if we will do so, then the deadlock can be prevented. Okay, so according to the third condition, no preemption says that you cannot preempt, or you cannot remove the resource from a currently running process. Okay, according to the condition. But in order to make this condition false, what we have to do, we have to allow the preemption. We have to allow the preemption, so that the resources can be released or can be removed from the currently running processes, and the deadlock can be prevented. Okay, now according to the last one, according to the last, that is circular weight. Okay, now what does this circular weight says, we'll see. The last is circular weight. The fourth condition is circular weight. According to the circular weight, set of the processes are waiting for each other in a circular way. Okay, so we have set of processes which are waiting for each and every one. Okay, so we have to break this condition. Okay, so to remove this circular weight, just give a numbering to all the resources. Okay, what we have to do over here, see. So for example, we have a set of resources over here. So for example, the CPU, we have given the numbering 1. For printer, we have given 2 numbering, and for scanner we have given 3 numbering. Okay, so we have the list of resources, we have given the numbering also. Okay, now what we have to do, we need to make sure that to remove the circular weight, condition, just give numbering to all the resources what we have done now. Okay, the first thing, ये हम लोग ने पहला काम किया. Then so after that, what we have to do, so that the process can request resources in incrementing order only. Okay, the second condition, we have to make it compulsory, so that the circular weight condition can be made false, is so that process can request resources in incremental order, that is in upward direction. Okay, now we'll understand how we can make it, that is process 1. Okay, this is process 2. Okay, so process 1 has already a one resource, that is CPU. Okay, so one process is already with the process 1. Okay, now it is asking for the next, it is asking for the next, or it has the requirement of the scanner also. Okay, so we have a scanner over here. Okay, we have a scanner over here. So P1 is acquiring, or P1 wants this scanner, that is resource number 2. Resource number 2 is resource number 1. Okay, so P1 has a one number, and it is asking for the, or requesting for the resource which has the higher number, so that a process can request resources in the incremental order. Okay, so P1 is asking or requesting for the resource which is having number 2. We have given the numbering, so it can ask for the 2. Okay, so now this is done. P2, for example, this scanner is being already held by the process 2. Okay, now process 2 want access of the CPU, for example this one. Okay, so if it will ask for the CPU, then we will not allow. Okay, because cause of this, the circular weight condition may be will be true, and the circular weight condition will be true, and the system will goes into the deadlock, and we don't want this condition to be true, so we have to make it false. So we will not allow the process to request resource number 1, okay, because it has the decrementing order. The process 2 is having the number 2, and it is requesting for the resource which is having number 1, okay. So it cannot request for the resource number 1. It can request for the resource number 3, it can request for the resource number 4, and so on, okay. I'm revising it again, okay. So to remove the circular wait condition, to make the circular wait condition false, we have to number all the resources first. We have given numbering to all the resources, that is first resource cpu we have given number 1, then 2, then 3, and so on. And after that we have to the process has to request the resources in the incremental order, okay. So process 1 has a hold of cpu, okay, it is okay. It is asking for the scanner, so p1 has a 1 number, okay. The scanner is at the second number, the numbering we have given is the 2, okay. So it can request the scanner because we are requesting in the incremental order, okay. P2 cannot request for the CPU because it has a number 1, okay. So we have to allow numbering in the incremental order only, okay. So it cannot be done, okay. So these are the 4 conditions, we have to make it false. So any one of the condition will be false, then we can say that the deadlock will be prevented, okay. So in deadlock prevention, those 4 necessary and sufficient condition has to be make false.